Welcome back to a little bit of a short one today. Just kind of worked out that way with skipping a few little things and not having enough time for, or I guess too much time for a second day. So let's jump into it. It's also raining again, which is really nice because we need to get level 9 fishing since we didn't quite get it yesterday. And then we also had our parsnips to harvest today, which will give us level 1 farming. And then all the remaining crops that we have there, that'll give us level 2 farming in I think 2 days. So that'll get us to where we need to be to have a ton of sprinklers to start growing our first big batch of kale and then strawberries. So yeah, today we're doing the parsnips. We have a silo to build for a little bit easier business with the animals. And we're going to take care of all of our geodes and then run to the museum as well. And then like I said, we really need to get that fishing level 9 so that we can get legend the next time it rains. And we also need the money. So those are our main things today. Just to kind of touch back on the crop thing real quick. All the crops I have now are specifically for reaching farming 2. With the exception of the forage, which obviously that's for foraging level. And once I hit level 2, I'll be going specifically for money, and in this case strawberries, even though normally we wouldn't do strawberries on a min-max run, because we'd be skipping the festival. We have to go to the festival for recipes, so we actually are going to pick up strawberries, and we'll do like 80 strawberry plants, just to boost up our, our farming as quickly as possible. So yeah, it's a pretty heavy errand day. I don't think our luck was very good. I don't even know if I checked. So we don't really have to do anything. I don't know, we don't have to go to the mines. We need to fish no matter what our luck is anyway, so whatever, we're gonna do it. And then the museum is kind of important too because we need to start working on our relationship with Krobus. And we want to be able to, obviously we have to fill out the whole museum, but the earlier the better for Krobus. And plus Krobus sells a star drop, and the museum will give us a star drop, so there's a lot of reasons. We also need to get the wizard quest going, so we'll need access to the sewers for that, so a lot of reasons we have to go there. And I will be using the predictor to open geodes for the museum stuff, which if you're not aware, your geodes are like hard-coded into your seed. So whatever your game seed is, all the geodes are predetermined, so they're not impacted by luck or anything like that. So I can go to the predictor and see what the pattern for the geodes is, the pattern is, and then open them and get what I need from them essentially. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'll talk about that I guess a little bit more once I start doing it. It's just it's kind of a lot of scrolling through a list of the geodes and then opening them in specific orders. You'll kind of see what I do. In the meantime, I'm also just smelting a few things before Clint's opens up, just to kind of kill a little bit of time. This is not the best use of time, because I could really be doing this and then hitting a few mines floors, but I think I'll get what I need out of it. That's not too big of a deal. Or I guess I could even be fishing right now, like at the lake, while I wait. Whatever though, it's a minor thing. And of course I'll be doing some gifting along the way. I don't know if anybody has a birthday today, but I don't know. I think the next person is Lewis on like the 7th. And I haven't really gotten into too much detail about how I'm doing the groups yet. I think I talked about it maybe in brief, but I'm basically trying to eliminate like all of the spring birthday people. As far as, so when I say eliminate, I mean max them out so I don't have to interact with them anymore. So I want to do all the spring people with birthdays, and I want to do all the people who are kind of in the same location. So someone had mentioned that I never gift anything to the wizard, And that's because he's not really part of my rotation yet until winter time. And then I'll start messing with him more frequently. And especially with this early game, I kind of want to focus a little bit more heavily on making money and getting that stuff started, and a little bit less on relationships. So right now it's kind of just like packing in a little bit of relationship stuff as I do other stuff, and later on it'll be a little bit more focused on gifts. Even though I'm not sure if it's this episode, I think next episode I will show my relationship standings a little bit better and just do a little freeze frame and we can look at it. But right now it's not that great. I don't have anybody maxed out yet, but I do have a few people like Clint relatively high. And then yeah, George is like, these people are really easy in this house, except for Alex, just because he doesn't love any super common gifts. I think he loves like a super meal and a salmon dinner, and I don't really come across that stuff very often. But I've been hitting him kind of hard with my first group because of that. And so yeah, I'm just headed over to Clint's or the museum first, just to donate the remaining stuff that I already have in my bags. This is just stuff from fishing and just random stuff from the mines. I also really need to get the dwarf scrolls relatively soon, because I have to befriend the dwarf. And while he's super easy to gift stuff to, it does take a long time, especially if you don't unlock him very early. And because I won't go to the mines very often. So I'd like to do that sooner than later, but that's just something you have to grind for, basically. And this stuff I'll just be selling. It's more worth it for me to get the money now than it is to plant the stuff, so. And then yeah, here's where I'll speed this up a lot. This is like 8 times faster, I think, because it takes forever. But you'll notice I'm opening them in a very specific order. And that's just to get the best possible results from the geodes that I have. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this is, okay, somebody was asking also about the music I personally make for these videos. And so this song right now, which is kind of long, but it's a loop I made. I wish I could remember who asked, but this is one of the ones I made. Most of the music I use is just Stardew Valley music, and occasionally like royalty-free, copyright-free music that I can use without any legal issues or like copyright claim issues. And only a few are things I make. But yeah, so I did that. I opened up a bunch of geodes. I didn't get as many as I wanted to, and I'm also running out of money. Like I think I only have 70 gold right now, so I can't do a whole lot, but I can at least get like a decent chunk donated and get a few of the rewards. I really want to get, like, they have a magic rock candy you get as a reward, a crystallarium, some espresso. There's a lot of stuff. It's pretty valuable to get that museum knocked out. And it's also pretty quick, especially because opening geodes doesn't actually take any in-game time. So I would say it's a pretty, I don't know, it's pretty well worth your efforts. And if you really want to, you can just sell the stuff that you crack open, you know, and you can make a pretty good amount of money too. I think I was thinking about doing that right now, but I decided against it. Just because once you, like, it gets more complicated, like, because once you're in possession of a mineral you can donate, in your in-game list, it kind of checks it off as something that you've had. And so it can get like kind of confusing on what you've donated or not if you're just missing one item and can't quite figure out what it is. So I think that's why I didn't sell it. And I got my lobster today, which is cool, because I think that was the last lobster I needed. I think I might need one more, but that one is like one of the rarer ones for whatever reason. And you need it for cooking and for the fishing whatever checklist. And so yeah, I think we're just gonna head back up to start doing our fishing now. we still have a pretty good chunk of the day. We'll sell those seeds, I guess, really quick, as well as give Caroline. And then we'll just fish up, hopefully, a good amount of catfish. At least, I don't know, ideally it would be like 10 probably, because of the time. But we'll see. It depends on how long I actually spend at the river. But we could theoretically fish from now until midnight when the catfish stop spawning. I just don't think that is what I do. So I don't have too much else going on today, as far as I remember at least. So I think just fishing. And again, I'm not going to show a ton of it, just a little. Oh, here's up. Well, next time, if you want to pause and look at my relationships, you're welcome to right there. But I did not. But here I am just fishing. I don't know how fruitful it is. I guess we'll find out momentarily. Sometimes it feels like right now, like I just didn't get a bite for super long. Oh, it's because I didn't have my bait on. That's a silly mistake. And that explains why. It's so easy to make little mistakes like that. And I guess like if I was trying to do this even more hardcore, I would have probably reset because of that. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like sometimes I reset over the most frivolous stuff. And other times I'll like totally burn a day and think it's totally fine. So yeah, we fished till like 9 o'clock. And that'll probably be about it. And we'll see, we got 9 catfish. That's pretty good. It's a pretty decent amount of money. And I don't know if that got us to where we need to be on our fishing skill, but I hope so. And I would assume so, otherwise I probably wouldn't have left. And I guess the thing is, if we don't get level 10 fishing, at some point we're going to have to grind out fishing more. And I don't know when we'll do that. I hope that doesn't become a thorn in my side as well. I hope that's not something that's like completely forgotten. I guess I'll write it down. I have like a growing list of stuff I need to do like as I record these, because I don't always think of everything at once. And so like right now on that list is like tree fertilizer, because I just hit level 7 on the day I'm playing right now, as well as gifting Sandy. I've been neglecting that pretty badly, but I guess I'm actually like a week ahead in playthrough, so it's not too relevant right now. And then yeah, I think the rest of this day is kind of a lot of organization, and I try to not get too organization heavy, just because I think like inventory management is never all that interesting. But it is something that needs to get done, and I need to stay on top of it pretty much all the time, especially because I have to keep track of like a crafting chest for items I don't craft very frequently. I have to keep track of all the recipes or the ingredients for the recipes, as well as gifts, and then normal stuff I need for like crafting items I'll actually use. So there's like a ton of stuff that I really need to keep track of. And so sometimes a little extra inventory management will slip in here. And I've kind of like ended up back at the farm a little bit too early, and I can tell by like what I'm doing. I shouldn't really be grabbing forage. Like this could be time spent fishing, and fishing for like pretty valuable fish too. But instead I'm just kind of, I think, wandering around pretty aimlessly. Or, you know, I could be chopping down some trees, or... Oh, I guess that's what I'm going to do. I have like a decent enough axe now that chopping up trees doesn't really kill me as far as energy use goes. And I guess this is a pretty good time to do it too. And yeah, I think the thing I've been thinking about the least is the crafting. And that's going to be a big challenge, just keeping track of the recipes. Because there's not, I think there are a few resources out there to keep track of it. Like there's the Mousy Pounds predictor for predicting things, but there's also the Mousy Pounds like tracker or Stardew Valley tracker, whatever it's called, where you can like literally pull up your save file and see what you're missing. And so there's a pretty good chance I'll have to utilize that. But that won't tell you what ingredients you're missing or components for crafting, you know? So that's something I have to manage on my own. And I know most of the problem items, which are like marble and some mushrooms and things like that, but I don't know all of them. Like crafting is probably my weakest subject, I guess you could say, or my weakest like knowledge point, because there's so many items I just don't craft. Like aside from like tappers, kegs, and the preserves jars, I really don't craft much else. Oh, and sprinklers, but yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how I do with that. I have plenty of time. As long as I don't miss any of the recipes from events, that's really all that matters. Because I don't think you can miss... There's not really anything else missable as far as crafting recipes go. So yeah, I think we're good on that aspect. But that being said, like I was saying, this is a shorter episode, so after we kind of turn in some of the stuff or organize a little bit more, we're just going to hit the sack. And tomorrow will be a little bit different of a story. We hit level 1 farming, like I was saying, and level 9 fishing, so that's perfect. So if it rains again, we'll catch the legend, which will be sweet. And that'll just take care of a huge, like, stressful part of spring. And that maybe that's next episode, I don't know. So we'll see. We knocked out a lot of stupid errands, and I'll see you all next time.